Hello, students, and welcome to the Visual Art Portfolio page, where you have an extra opportunity to share your creativity if you choose to do so. For this project opportunity, we're asking you to create a portfolio showcasing art that you create, things that you yourself are making. What we want to do here is to kind of create a record of student work created by Spencer County students. Student work deserves to be showcased, it deserves to be seen by others, it deserves to be recognized. And this is sort of an opportunity for you to do so. It's also an opportunity for you to create a record of your creations for yourself for the future. A few things that we might do with your work if you choose to submit something for this project is your work may be shared with other teachers, it may be shared with parents or guardians, it may be shared with people in our community. Your work may be shared on the display outside my room at SCMS in room 124. Teachers might use it for creations or things like that. They may use it as a resource. They may call you in for certain things. This just kind of creates an existing body of work that can be shared and displayed to showcase cool things that students are making at your school. We also want to create a collection that you can look back on to see your progress in future years. You could even use this for your profile of a learner that you'll be doing as you go through school throughout Spencer County. We may share your work with teachers as you move to from the elementary schools to the middle school or from the middle school to the high school, just to kind of be like, hey, this is what this student is creating at this level. We're kind of excited to see what they're going to make as they progress through. We may also submit your work to be evaluated for the GT program a couple times each year, and you may hear back about that as well. What do you need to do for this project? I didn't want it to be something that you really took a lot of time extra to do. Most of you guys are pretty proficient at creating presentations and things like that. And the portfolio itself doesn't have to be anything particularly fancy. What we really want is just a record of work. So, things that you have already created. You may have to create a couple pieces in order to flesh out the requirements that we want to see for the portfolio to be full, and I'll get more into that in just a second. But really, you can use things that you've created already in your free time as part of classes and things that you've had at Spencer County Middle School or at the other schools in the county if you're seeing this. Um, what we're going to do in a minute is look at an example portfolio to kind of give you an idea of what this could look like. But ultimately, this is a digital record of your work. So if you are doing a lot of hand painting, if you are doing a lot of sketching and things like that, you would be taking pictures of that, uploading it online, and putting it into a presentation that you will turn in for this. Teachers will review this a couple times each year, probably more than that. If you want a teacher to see it quickly, email me and I will pass that word on. We'll review that and check it out. Now, the specific art that you need to complete this project would be one example of landscape art, one example of a portrait, and that could be of you or of really anybody or even anything, and one example of a still life work of art. Beyond that, we'd like to see 5 more pieces that you've created. It can be all one type of art, it could be a mishmash of different varieties. Anything is fine. Please note, too, that things that you submit can be physical or digital art. Feel free to do either one of those. The main thing is that anything that you create needs to be created by you. So think things by hand, things that you are painting, sketching, etc. Or if you're creating something digital, you don't need to use existing resources to create it. It could be done on something like Procreate or other programs that you use, but you want to be showcasing like stickers or things that are already existing that you popped into your art, if that makes sense. If you have any questions on it, you can bring it up with me or an art teacher, and we can kind of give you a little bit more like discussion into that. There's not a whole lot of boundaries here. We just want to make sure that everything we use is human created and human created by you, if that makes sense. What else do you need beyond those pieces? We'd really like to see some kind of an about me section included, and this can be really brief, just describing about you, what you enjoy creating, and what types of art you like to create the most. Please include your current grade at time of completing this portfolio. That way, if you did this in, say, 7th grade, and then you came back later in high school and did it your sophomore year, you could see where you grew in just that short amount of time in your creation. We'd also like it if, at least for some of your pieces, you could add a description next to your art. What tools did you use to create it? Particularly if you create digital art, give us an idea of what you used to make that. If you make a portrait, who is this a portrait of? Just little details really kind of bring it to life a little bit. We may ask you some questions too, just to kind of get some more details because we found it interesting. But give us some details about what you create. Other than that, kind of just be creative with your portfolio. Whatever you like to make, pop it in here. So let's look at a quick example of something that this one is an example of something a college student would put together. So this is Olivia Wilson. She's put a picture of some art she's made at the front. She wants to be an artist and designer. She has an About Me section as one of the slides. It just gives a little bit of info about her and kind of the subjects she likes to use for her works of art. Got an example of a landscape painting here, Lonely Sunflowers. She says she created this in a garden outside her parents' house in Owensboro. I put a brief description of landscape, portrait, and still life art. This is something that you want to dig a little bit more into if you're not certain what those are. You're probably already creating those types of art, but we would like to see some examples of those because they kind of showcase a whole lot about what students make. Here's an example of a portrait that she did. And these are actually just samples I grabbed from other artists. This is not a real person. Just to clarify that, this is something another artist created. And here's a piece of digital art that she did. It is a still life of some tableware that her professor set up in an art class. And I included some other works of art in here that she put. These don't really have much of a description, but we'd love for you to add some word describing if you want to. These would be traditional drawings. I don't know why the L's not there. If you look at this one, some acrylic paintings that she did, some digital illustrations of some very creepy looking spiders and some very pretty looking flowers, and just some sketching and things like that. These all don't have to be fancy on a canvas works of art. These can be things that you sketched out on paper that you put in here for us to see. Don't worry about the quality of the material or anything like that. We just want to see the time and the creative process that you used. Now, a couple things before turning this in, there'll be a checklist. Look at that checklist and make sure you got all the parts. Turn it in. This is totally optional, but we would love to be able to see some of the things you create. I'd love to be able to share this with teachers throughout the school and even the other schools just to see what you've made. Thank you all and have an awesome day.